Usagi Motors, and today we're going to talk about a subject that is full of controversy and confusion and conjecture about how best to go about it, and that is purchasing a vehicle in Japan and importing it back to the United States. Recently I was contacted by my boss. I worked in Japan for 7 years. I now currently live in the US, and he contacted me and asked me to come back to Japan for 3 months for work. Now, 3 months is a very long time, but it presents me with a very interesting opportunity. And so I figured while I was there, I would purchase a vehicle and then import it back to the United States and document everything as well as I could to kind of shed light on what all is involved in purchasing a vehicle in Japan, owning and driving a vehicle in Japan, and then ultimately how do you go about exporting out of Japan and importing into the United States and then getting a clean title and then having a legal vehicle in the United States to drive. So the first thing that we need to know the most about is cost, money. So you can see here I've got the number 1 followed by 2 Japanese characters, that is ichi, man, in. So ichi is the number 1, man is kind of telling us how much it is, and then in is yen. That's our character for yen. So the man kanji is our signifier for what we multiply our number by. So man in this case is a times 10,000 signifier. So you can see down here I actually have 40 man in. This is 40 man in, or what they would say is yonju. So yon is 4, ju is 10. So yonju is our 40, and then man in. So 40 times 10,000 is 400,000 yen. Okay? So 400,000 yen sounds like a colossal amount of money, especially if you're from America, where $400,000 is enough to live quite comfortably for a long time. So we need to look up what the exchange rate is. So the easiest way is to just pop into Google and type in what $1 US is in yen. And you can see here that $1 US right now is 99.97 Japanese yen. There's a tool, and it's called Dikai-chan for Firefox and Dikai-kun for Chrome. This is an add-on, and what it does is it allows you to just hover your mouse over some Japanese characters that you don't understand, and then a pop-up will pop up to show you what those characters mean in English. The main site that I do most of my vehicle shopping on whenever I shop for vehicles in Japan is a site called carsensor.net. This is kind of like a used car collection. All of the used car dealers in Japan that want to advertise their vehicles on the internet will use Car Sensor or another website that we'll talk about in a minute. Okay, so you can see with our basic layout, it's actually pretty easy right off the bat. We have a bunch of manufacturers' marquees posted up on the site, and you can click one of those to go to that manufacturer. If the manufacturer you see isn't listed, say you're shopping for like an Isuzu, you can click this little place down here on the bottom right, and it takes you to a page that lists all of the manufacturers that are currently being advertised by dealers on this website. So if we navigate here, you can see I've clicked it before. We have Isuzu, and then we get a list of all the vehicle models by Isuzu that are currently being sold by dealers on this website. Okay, so let's say I want to find maybe an Isuzu Bellet or an Isuzu 117 Coupe. And just for fun, we'll click the Isuzu Piazza to throw that in as well. Once you've selected all the cars that you want to view, you click the big blue button in the top here. And that takes you to the next page, which is the selection of where in the country you're shopping for. I am going to Nagoya via Tokyo, so I'm going to land in Tokyo and then take the bullet train to Nagoya from there. So I'm going to go ahead and click those. Again, just click the big blue button. and it takes you to the list of vehicles. And you can see this time now we have 1,694 vehicles for sale. Alright, so this is a lot of vehicles. Now let's say that I don't like automatic transmissions. I'm a manual transmission guy, so I'm going to look for only Skylines that have manual transmission. And you can see our big blue button here has updated to 751. That means that there are 751 Nissan Skylines for sale in Japan that are manual transmission. Now, I can go out and buy a lot of those, but some of them are going to be newer than 1991, which means that I can't import them. I can't bring them back to America. So we're going to limit it by year. We're going to select Heisei 3 or 1991. And you can see that updates our big blue button to just 213 vehicles. Okay, so now we're going to click that blue button and refine our search. Now every vehicle that's listed is a vehicle that is importable into the United States. We actually have two prices listed for our vehicle. There's a kind of cheaper price on the left and a more expensive price on the right. The price on the left is the price of just the vehicle. The price on the right is the vehicle plus additional fees that dealer needs to charge. Now, I'm a pretty cheap guy. I like to buy cheap cars, so we're going to organize this by the cheapest. We have a very green Skyline come up. Okay, so this is a Skyline 2.0, it says. We can see right below that, we see 5MT, so we know it's a 5-speed. And this 3.8, that's our price, okay? So 38, so it's 38 mon in. Okay, so that's going to be $3,800. Now let's say that I'm really interested in this green Skyline for whatever reason. I can just click the link and it takes me to a page with more pictures and more information about it. Now you can scroll down on this page and you get this kind of neat table that outlines everything for you. Does the vehicle have power steering? Does the vehicle have air conditioning? And so on and so forth. Again, this is something that's going to be best used with Rikai-chan, that tool we talked about earlier, to kind of see what is what and figure out what features are included on this car. So now you kind of know how to search on Car Sensor. This is the one that I use the most, but there's one more site that's very, very similar to Car Sensor, and that is GooNet. This website is set up almost identically to Car Sensor. Some dealers prefer to list on GooNet, some dealers prefer to list on Car Sensor, some dealers list on both. So you will see some overlap between the two sites, but it's always good to check both sites because sometimes you'll find a car listed on one that isn't on the other. So there's actually one more final option for shopping for vehicles online, and that is actually going to a shop's main website. Okay, so you can see here we have Classic Car Nagoya's website pulled up. Classic Car Nagoya is fantastic. I've worked with these guys for 6-7 years now. They're wonderful help, and we're going to see a lot more of them a little later on. But if we take a look at their website here, you can see that their menus are actually listed in English in the top right here, which makes life really easy. So if we just click Car, we then get a list of 3 pages of the cars that they currently have for sale. So we can kind of get an idea of what they currently have that we can maybe purchase in person when we get there. Now, having been to Classic Car Nagoya and been to a lot of other shops, I can say for sure that the vehicles that are listed on their website are not representative of the entire selection that they have. Classic Car Nagoya has far more vehicles that you can use to buy as restoration bases, or maybe that they just haven't had time to update their website. And it's not just Classic Car Nagoya, a lot of the other websites are the very same. So keep that in mind while you're shopping. If you find a shop that has a lot of cars that you like, when you go to the actual shop, keep an open mind. Maybe you'll find something there that's for sale that you actually like a lot better than what you saw on the website. Okay, so that just about sums up how I go about shopping for vehicles when I'm 6,000 miles away from them. But all of these classic cars, all of this shopping, all of this looking has really kind of gotten me excited. Being cooped up in the room isn't helping, so I think it's time that I go outside and I just go for a short drive.